Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to KwingsLetsPlays and the return of the great Ace Attorney Chronicles live Let's Play on, well, our channel. How's everybody doing?
Yeah!
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Hit that notification bell because it really does help us out tremendously, as well as leaving a comment down below what you thought about today's episode once the episode is done. So just a reminder that this is a live LP sponsored by our friends over at Capcom. And today we'll be continuing part 3 as, well, we learned some interesting thing about the water. So, let's jump into this. I'm excited. I've been waiting all day for this, so.
Yeah, special thanks again to Capcom for providing a copy of this game. And thank you to all of you for hanging out in the chat and hanging out with us and doing this story together. Awesome.
Yep, and a reminder, if we get stuck during the live LP, we will gauge the audience for help. But for the most part, this is a live Let's Play because uploads are dead.
Phone a friend.
Phone a friend, that's right. November 22nd, 1:14 p.m., Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom number 2. I don't like that word.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whoa, that's right. It's, what's her face?
Judiciary court.
Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense. But why this sudden ingress into my courtroom? A judicial assistant? And a woman, no less. Oh, ouchie.
Whoa!
Wow. Wow. The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify.
What?
Whoa, get him, girl.
Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense.
Woohoo! You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded. 5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more. But, Your Excellency, this doesn't seem right.
I am most grateful.
Cool. Who exactly are you?
I am sorry, there is no time. Please, simply accept this for now.
Oh, what is it, a report about something? Written in English?
It's Giselle Brett's research.
Huh, the English woman?
After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical facility and borrowed this paper.
Ooh. Yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? Oh, and guys, I just woke up, so my throat's gonna be a little bleh. Just heads up, yeah. So, so does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with this case?
I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself.
Oh no, of course not. Special characteristics of a, Curare and its effects on human subjects? Interesting. What? What's that? I've never heard of that word before. Me either, Ryunosuke.
Sounds like some kind of poison name.
Time's up! The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from my courtroom!
There was too little time for me to read it in detail. But I've summarized that I could on a note just inside the cover. I mean, what I could. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it.
This is wonderful, thank you. Giselle's report has been entered into the court record.
Goodbye then, and good luck.
Cool. You have had long enough, counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. Ooh, she's still on the stand. I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but... The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our last chance. Yes, I know. Okay, Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett,
Yes, Your Excellency.
if you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
It is a delightful invitation, but I am afraid it is not so very long until tea time for me.
Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question, however. I must ask you to treat this as an order. Ooh.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. Ooh. So, Consul, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? It is the book we just got, yo. This.
Yeah, Giselle's report.
Yeah. Hi! Miss Giselle Brett, we understand that you are studying under Dr. Wilson at the Yumi University doing research, right? Research by sheer coincidence, perhaps into a deadly poison? What?
Oh my gosh.
Poison? Where are you going with this, Consul? Counsel? A toxin known as, curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Objection!
What? What complete and utter nonsense! Curare, you say? I've never heard of it! You wouldn't have, prosecutor. What do you mean? Bad translation. I mean that you wouldn't have heard of the virus. I mean you wouldn't have heard of the poison before. One very simple reason. It's not in Japan. It doesn't exist in our country. I knew it. It doesn't exist?
Oh my gosh.
Correct. Which means, no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify the poison. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison.
Dun dun dun!
Nani?
Oh no!
Order! Order! I will have order!
Gasp!
Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report authorized by the visiting research student from England, the poison has been used by tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that this is reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. To lace their arrows? The report states that this is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. And it was first brought to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with this suffer instant death.
Whoa.
Doesn't that sum it up, Miss Brett? Trumpery! These aspirations are utter trumpery! To start with, if the victim has been administered some of this so-called poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and other diners would have surely noticed. What if he'd been poisoned over time, though? That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Well, obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What?
What do you mean, the other way around? Sorry. The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of duress is evidence that the poison was used.
What?
Explain yourself, defense.
Nani?
The moment the toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, the affected victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did have, the effects could go largely unnoticed.
Whoa.
But I didn't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant.
Whoa.
The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the effect is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh!
That's hideous! To the observer, it would almost look like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly poison. Wow.
That's dark.
Holy cow.
She did that to him? Wow.
Yeah, but why is the other guy coughing up blood? And you're suggesting that this bottle defense actually contains the terrifying poison? This is very, convenient, isn't it? I throw to another poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale of the defense.
Ahem. If I may.
All these facts, you think you're so clever, but...
Shut up!
What?
It is you who must be taught.
Of course, my lady. I'm sorry, dear lady.
Yes. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it?
What?
You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I am appalled. What a loathsome act.
Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual.
Whatever do you mean?
Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree? Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules. What?
Ah.
What's so funny, lady?
Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett?
May I borrow that bottle for one moment, please?
Well, yes, I don't see, why not?
She's gonna drink it.
What? She's going to drink the water?
I think that she poisoned the stuff in his glass. Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys.
Sorry.
To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics, it's laughable, really.
No, what?
But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for this game to end. Cheers!
Wow, she is evil.
Yep, she even speaks like she's evil.
No, wait! What are you doing?
Is she gonna die now? No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair.
Everybody's stunned. My gosh!
Yeah, like, did she just, how, is she gonna die? I don't understand.
My guess is the poison was in the glass she took.
I think the poison was in the glass. Goodness! Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned.
So, no poison? The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying?
You look quite incredulous, little boy, but of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind of you.
Oh!
Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett.
I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries.
Yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance that you've given. This can't be!
Oh, people are saying, does it mean she poisoned the cup?
This doesn't make any sense.
Could she have built up an immunity to it?
There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how? How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale?
Evidence is Ryunosuke's going to jail.
I don't understand it.
Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London.
There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. I don't understand. Come on, Ryunosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water contains poison?
You have people in the chat saying we should have examined the bottle, but...
We did examine the bottle.
Or the notebook.
I don't think it contains the poison.
I think it doesn't contain
I think it's the glass.
Yeah,
Well,
contains no poison.
As I thought, there is no poison in that bottle. What? Why, Ryunosuke? Isn't it obvious? If there was poison in there, she'd be dead by now. Sometimes your unadulterated naivety really astounds me. But sometimes it's in the need of good staining. Until it's as dark as your uniform in the ways of the world. Is that what this color's supposed to represent? That was a gulless ending to a promising line of inquiry, Consul, for which you will be penalized. What? What? This whole trial is poisoned. It must be option 1. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead.
So there is poison in it. Maybe it's just inactive.
Come on, Ryunosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water...
Contains poison!
Oh my gosh. We only have 3 strikes left. The culprit did put the poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious?
Fool! Fool! Are you blind? There is no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw her...
Miss Brett drinking the water from it?
That's right. Which rather complements your argument, I think.
Complicates.
I mean it complicates it.
And I believe that complication can be explained.
How exactly, boy?
I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the courtroom somewhere. It has to be. Very well, if the defense truly intends to assert this claim... Then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed?
Alright, the chat, Kiri in the chat is saying, look at the book that, Maya 2 gave you.
Maya 2?
Well, they didn't say Maya 2, but I'm explaining it.
So we need to examine the book.
Poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Instant paralysis of the entire body, subsequent death in minutes. The above-mentioned effect occurs when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it is believed that the toxin could have an application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation.
Anesthetic? From his tooth? No, she wasn't a dental assistant.
Human body paralytic. So maybe she put it on a wound. Maybe she put it in the bullet.
Medical report. She put it in the... No, because then he would have still died from the bullet wound. I mean, we could try the report again.
I don't know. So it goes through a wound, says Battle Guy. Yep.
I mean, he had a... I'm gonna say it's the, because he had a wound in his tooth. He just had a tooth removed. I'm gonna try that.
Oh, yeah, you're right! You're right, it would go through the tooth hole! Oh my gosh.
It would seem the defense, or should I say, the wretched accused. Huh? Is the only real source of complication in this case. You have to think harder than that, defendant. Oh, crap. It didn't work. Sorry, Your Excellency. I'll try to find some better supporting evidence. But the tooth, man!
The burn.
You're making this complication more complicit than it needs to be. All right. I'll find the answer that fits the facts. If the defense, the wretched accused truly intends to assert this claim. What? Then I must ask you to support this assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed? It has to be her report.
Yeah, it's her report, but I don't know what's in the report.
You already read it. It had to be a wound.
Present, I guess. And then I don't know what it is.
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research.
Objection!
That's not a valid explanation.
No?
After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading the notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirely by the court. You will direct us to the section, pertinent. You will point us to the right answer.
Yeah.
Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle? I would probably say the characteristics of the poison. That it needs to be in an open wound in order to work.
Yeah.
Because he had his tooth removed. 2 strikes left. We've been hearing a lot about this type of poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, what's that, defense? Well, it sounds as though the indigenous hunters have been using their poison for years and years to lace the heads of arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please, young man.
Which means it can't be tainted for them to eat.
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean they would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. What? So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because them eating would be poison. Good gracious!
Whoa.
No, that would be madness! But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here, thanks to the notes from the female who came in. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through an open wound. Through a wound, you say? I see. That makes sense. Yeah, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But it makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When the poison enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever.
Dun dun dun!
What? Miss Brett, you authorized this research. You knew the poison's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking the water without any danger to yourself.
You meddling little rapscallion!
Her hat's alive. Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you would be, friend. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Objection! All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see how it... Ah!
So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly.
What are you trying to say?
Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw.
Schoolboyish? Flaw?
As even your brain has managed to deduce, Curare is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus.
Oh, yeah, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they?
So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, now would he?
The tooth!
Ah! That's right!
Good gracious!
Oh my gosh. That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand. No?
Order! Order! Order in the court! The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in some way. Are you trying to suggest?
Yes, this poison is completely irrelevant to the trial and the case at hand.
That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that.
Oh.
Ah!
Wow. Her hat's alive. What is this? Welling up inside of me. I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey.
Whoa.
Objection!
Whoa!
I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett.
How dare you use that tone with me?
You know very well that there's no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Defense! I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence for your argument, as we know now that the poison is completely harmless when drunk. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the poison?
Because of his tooth!
Now we can do the report card. Because of this! As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor, correct? However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? The toxin effects of the poison are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. That is correct. However, what if there was a wound inside the mouth the person was drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example.
Ah! Oh!
Ah!
Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day.
Oh!
So that's it. You used the knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she, laughing?
I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are so puerile.
What? What do you mean?
Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. Oh my gosh! What's she doing? You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it.
No!
I mean, it could just slip.
Whoa!
Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed.
No! What is it? What just happened? It's the English woman. She just smashed that bottle. And in the Supreme Court, what a terrible blunder! Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much water from that broken bottle as possible at once!
You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it.
How could you? You won't get away with this!
You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy, but I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in that bottle or not.
You!
And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel, for the prosecution?
Oh, of course. You're referring to the photo, I presume, dear lady.
That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So, of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
No! You killed the victim that day, using the poison! And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime. You waited until he picked up the pistol and arranged for him to find on the floor before you shot the professor dead in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor's chair around. You see? You have every opportunity to commit this crime.
What a wonderful imagination you have, young man.
Ugh.
A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Exactly. As you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was shot by a gunshot to his chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now... Is she really gonna get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was so obscene. Ryunosuke! Yes? We've come this far, but now... Now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there was any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. What?
What?
In my head?
Uh-oh, we're screwed.
You told me before that your powers of observation were the only thing that you could depend on. Well, yeah, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. So think back now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. Huh? What I saw, what I felt? Every color. There's blood on the plate.
Why would he be bleeding?
Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of this scene in my head? Could there be another clue to expose the identity? There is a clue. It's we're seeing it. There's blood on the plate.
Yeah, there is a clue.
Actually, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Haha. You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on, then! Let's swipe that smug smile off that English woman's face with some evidence. Alright! I can't wait! Notice how his hand pounding is getting louder as he gets more confident?
Definitely.
I like that. It's been bugging me for a little while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it could be, the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere, the clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been. It's the blood on the plate, obviously. Right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he's getting more confident. Inspector! Answer me this, please. Yes, what is it? He's still miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed.
Yep.
As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day?
Wait a minute, where are you going with...
Where are you going with this, little boy?
It's just a memory that's been troubling me.
Sorry.
It messes up the mic. You saw what happened.
What memory?
I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a splatter of blood.
What?
Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor.
There's no way it could happen from behind him, though. It would happen from the front. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photo and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front. There's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes. For the blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor as you were. Jezebel Brat!
Oh! I beg your pardon?
Objection! This is beyond ridiculous. fabricated nonsense! Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing? Hold it!
Whoa.
Oh, it was him. This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean... Yes, I took the plate in interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime.
Whoa!
I took it, meat and all. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all in the name of justice. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate.
He's so heroic.
We must examine it now.
Murmur, murmur, murmur.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa.
Inspector! The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately! Yes, sire! Wow!
The plate.
Sorry for the delay.
Ooh.
Here is what you ordered. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Where is the blood on it?
Of course there isn't!
Quickly, Inspector! The blood man! Show the court! Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure.
But there was blood. Did she wipe it?
What in the world? No blood! No blood anywhere! But, no, that's impossible!
No blood?
I know I saw it, I'm sure of it!
It's on the photograph.
It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate.
She wiped it.
She wiped it.
What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you.
Ah! I couldn't agree more in the case of disgrace to the Empire.
Wow. She's rude.
I believe we finally have reached a conclusion in this trial.
Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at court proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over.
Oh! Fool! This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest.
The plate of steak has been entered into the court record. Was the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? She switched the plates. This is it now, I've lost! Ryunosuke, it's not over yet. Not until the final gavel strikes. Huh? Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of the evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection?
The chat says maybe it was flipped over or switched.
That blood stain was going to clinch me for the trial. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all?
There's another clue.
I mean, we can run with it.
I don't know.
I don't see any blood, though. Your Excellency, please wait! This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
Objection! The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beef steak!
Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial.
I'm sorry, miss, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I am completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled.
I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it?
Thank you, Your Excellency.
He didn't answer.
Nope. Counsel, for the defense, you will now clearly show the court what you are alluding to. Immediately. Where precisely on the plate of beef steak is this new clue to be found?
I don't know! I wish there was a hint coin.
There's no hint coins. I mean, we could look at the liquid.
Examine, people said.
You can't examine, you can only present. This is the left side of the plate, right?
Well, I mean, that's... Yeah, I mean, where was, in the photograph, where was the,
You can't. I don't think you can look at anything. You can go to history now.
Well, think about it this way. If I'm just thinking, just like, his hand must have hit the plate. Maybe she used his arm to wipe the blood off the plate. Because then he burned his hand.
I mean, the steak looks a little red. Maybe some blood got on the steak itself.
But remember in that photograph, his hand was burnt? Mm-hmm. Maybe she took his hand and wiped the blood with his hand after he was dead.
Well, I'm gonna try the right side of the steak. No? No, I'm afraid that won't do. That was ambiguous at best. When you're asked to identify a detail like this, you must do so knowing there's a penalty for mistakes. The answer's right there in front of me. I don't understand how it is. Alright, chat, now's your time to shine. You got one strike left. Turn the steak over.
People keep saying
and
try
over
to move it.
Until I find something that... I can't move it, though. Defense, you will now clearly show the court what you're alluding to.
The hole. People are saying the hole. What hole?
What hole?
Maybe the blood... Oh, wow.
You can turn the steak over.
Like that hole there? Like there? That hole. There. That
This?
hole, I think, is what they want.
I
Is
mean,
that the hole you guys are talking about?
we got one strike, guys. That's it.
People are saying go to the court record.
You can't go to the court record. You can't do anything. It's the steak or nothing.
I mean, people are saying the hole, but does anybody know? Yeah, maybe the people are saying either the steak itself or the hole.
I clicked on the steak last time. We got a strike. Well, we're gonna get a game over.
I guess do a hole. Maybe try the hole. I don't know.
What hole? This hole?
I don't know. We already did. You already pressed X on the steak, right?
I did the steak, yeah.
We already pressed X on the steak.
I pressed on the red part of the steak. Right there. And it said no. Well, this sucks.
I don't really know what to say.
I mean, I don't think it's a hole. I think this is wrong.
Okay, well, why don't you go for... Do you guys know it's the hole? Or...
You have to know for sure. It's game over. We gotta do it all again.
No, guys, we're not gonna go watch a video on it. This is a new game. You guys said you guys could help in the chat, but we're just asking. Yeah, we know what the X button is, guys, but we have to push on a certain plate. What do you guys mean, the X button? Oh.
Ah! What in the world is this?
Oh, it's flipped over.
I think it's a coin. And the hallmark is from the Hoey area, I believe. No. What I mean, what is it? What is it doing here?
Okay, thanks, guys.
Wait, did you say it was, Hoey Kaban? Yes. And apart from the meat juices, it looks like it's in good condition. Imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today that there's been talk of this coin. I've heard of pearls before swine, but never heard of bullion and bullion. I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... What does it mean? Present the coin? I certainly had never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. And if it's from the, Hoey area, that would make it a really quite valuable item. It's well marinated in juices as well, look! What? Are you thinking of eating it? No, but next time I order steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's gonna be racing as I lift up the meat and peer underneath for a prize! I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryunosuke. A Koban coin underneath the steak? There's only one logical explanation. It's not the right steak. I don't know. Let's present the coin.
Yeah, then they switched the stakes, obviously.
Good gracious! That's...
What? A Koban?
What on earth?
What?
Hoey area one?
Miss Brett. This is in fact the beef steak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, isn't it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
Shut up! What a ridiculous question! How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life! I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it! None!
Objection!
I fail to see how this is I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in the moment of discretion.
Objection!
Well...
Don't be absurd! We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare coin just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip my ticket to the Great Britain right now! He's right. It can't be a coincidence.
Dun dun dun!
Your Excellency! Yes. A rare coin just happens to be underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now!
Objection! By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant.
Even though I'm the one on trial here? The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under the steak. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it could belong to.
Yeah, that old guy.
That's right. The owner of the Koban that was found underneath the beef steak is...
The old dude!
The old guy!
Kyoryo Korekuta. 67 years old.
Obviously, it can only be... the old man, the antiques dealer.
Kyoryo. Kyori? As in Mr. Cucumber something. Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable.
Yes.
She's so rude to other cultures.
Well, she's a certain word that we can't say, but yeah. She's The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency.
She's prejudiced of Japanese people.
I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired.
The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure! Young man. Indeed! The Holy Era Koban! My prized coin!
Then this era coin, do you mean to tell me?
Objection! No. Please, why would, why would the old man's coin be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense.
Which is why I'm asking to bring the old man back out to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer,
Bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay!
Ooh.
Woo! I can't believe we've come around to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this koban, we'll find that it's a key element in this case. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's worth probably thousands of dollars, so that'd be a reason to kill.
I mean, it's possible.
What is this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for my little baby? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves.
Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witness.
He has a knife! Get him!
And when cast from this courtroom myself, I became a ruined man in a trice, a worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun is set on this Ryunosuke shop owner's existence.
Be that as it may, old man, something has come to light that requires your clarification. We can't save crap. Oh, yes, we can!
Save!
Save! Save! Save, just in case. Save, 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 save.
Yeah.
That way we don't have to do the whole trial over again.
Knife in the court, that's right, OH. I don't even know at this point, says Kiri.
Yep. As far as your
Ryunosuke! Whoa, that's it! Yes, that's it, the one, the very one! The exact one it is! My coin! The resplendent, splendid Ryunosuke treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day!
It can't be!
as I thought.
Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Pull me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped?
Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beef steak and its plate, soaking in a seasoned meat juice.
Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously?
Clearly, it wouldn't have fallen there by accident, which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Somebody concealed my holy treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing?
Excuse me. Could I say something, please?
Oh no, don't tell me he did it.
Yes, of course. Sure. Proceed, Inspector. Thank you. I mentioned this earlier, on in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Ah, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation.
Smuggling, I bet. The restaurant is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes, indeed. We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent undercover, is it? Yes. I took on the job waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this koban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about that master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid the coin is all too clear.
What?
What?
I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole the coin and hid it under the stake?
Either the woman or the man.
No, it's the soldier, remember? He's penniless.
Oh, okay.
He also, like, the old man accused him and he didn't say anything.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Obviously, it can only be you! The Sergeant Nosa! What? How? How dare you? You monster! Monster? I stole that koban? Did I? I'm the master thief of the restaurant, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me! It was the baby! The baby is the mastermind in all of this!
Oh my gosh.
What did he just say?
You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son? An innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa! What?
Yeah! Crippity, crippity, croppity, crippity, yeah!
Whoa.
Confession is good for the soul.
Now the baby will take the stand.
Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Nosa preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir.
Whoa.
I'm sure he got arrested. Oh, nope, he's still there. Pushes the baby down. Do any of you know of the extraordinary low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe? And that's what Japan was called at one time, I believe. Or actually might still be referred to as Japan.
I think that's
in
the
Japanese.
Yeah, I think that's the Japanese name for it.
I understand the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. And I've heard that it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son! That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant. The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days I'd go there to do reconnaissance for a target. And I'd enjoy chomping away through a good steak at the same time. It sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worrying and very believable. And your target that day was the old man and his koban. Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all.
My veritable phantom thief you are!
I was all set to leave the steak. I was halfway through devouring it when it happened.
Oh, wow.
2 crimes solved by Ryunosuke. Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. My son, too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could on the double. I slipped it underneath the steak, hoping that it would be able to rendezvous with it again later on. Ah. Ah. Oh. Oh. This is ridiculous.
Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time?
Well, Miss Brett.
Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. I am such a simp. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency?
Oh, he's bowing.
Wow, that's so weird.
Indeed. The theft of the koban was clearly done by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. Is it, though?
Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me.
Nonsense, is it?
And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. She's insulting
Very
everyone.
well. Now that all the questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave.
What? Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. Finding the murderer, and good day.
Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? There's no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just, something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out the exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking, make your voice heard. Sorry? You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over. Hold it! Wait, Miss Brett!
What is it now?
I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago.
What are you talking about? What contradiction?
What new student nonsense is this?
Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke?
Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without even using a knife and fork, is beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. That's it. The steak looked like it was bitten with teeth marks, not sawed.
Ah, you're right! Yes, I'm right. What she just said exposed an undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need to see evidence, defense. Miss Brett's words are truly, if they are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove
The
it?
steak has bite marks in it. It's not cut in like...
That's the sergeant's steak.
That's his steak because it's clearly like curved marks, which would be his teeth.
Yep. You're correct. The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed? Yes, go on. Well, more accurately, Your Excellency, the steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
Now you're just splitting hairs.
Well, not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as unnatural?
Unnatural? What on earth do you mean, boy?
It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. Good job, Amber.
Oh!
I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Little too late. Notice what, defense? Well, just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishwoman or Englishman could ever contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork.
Of course she did. She's a refined English lady herself.
Then take a good look at this steak, in particular, the edge where it's been eaten.
Yeah, it's bite marks.
As you can see, there are clear defined barbaric teeth marks there.
Ah! Oh!
Oh!
It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. That's right. So, if the witness, as she claims, couldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in this steak at all.
Objection!
Whoa!
But what is your actual point? I'm so
It's
confused.
not her steak.
Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravishly...
Shut up!
Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. I am such a simp.
As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer.
Of course, of course. This will be over in a blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place.
Shut up!
Ah!
I've had enough! You irritating little spectacled samurai relic!
Of course, dear lady.
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Nice pun. Clearly the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the stake have for her. Man, the word placement. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? I just need to think. Yes. Now at last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with fork and knife. Ugh! The reason why the bloodstain I know somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you've put it, defense.
Yep.
But what exactly are you suggesting that this tells us? Suggesting that this tells us? Everything, Your Excellency. Everything? It's not the same steak.
Nope.
Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson.
Shut up! Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats.
Wow. How can you be so sure?
Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago.
Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Well,
Hasn't been? What? But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean the evidence does not exist.
Objection! This is absurd! The trial has run several hours already! And you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? This can't be! I don't believe you have it!
Objection!
well,
I don't, but there is someone that does have it. Someone in this very courtroom.
what?
And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve everything remaining mystery in this case. Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair?
The guy, the robber.
The waiter did it!
Okay, if you think so.
I'm pretty sure it's him.
It's either him or the other guy.
Actually, we'll say first.
It's either him, Luke, or he's the other guy. Like, if he switched the steak, he must have taken the other person's steak.
I don't think he switched the steak. I think he took all the steaks as evidence.
Oh, why would
Because
he...
he's crazy.
Okay. Oh, you did save, right?
Yep. The answer is obvious. It's the inspector. What? I have it? Yes. Do you think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? Again? That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the steak with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoyed chomping my way through the good steak. And as well as I admitted to stealing the coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak. You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak? Jameson! Affirmative, of course!
I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still! I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me handling her meal to hide something in it.
In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
Whoa.
But that makes no sense! That plate was taken from the victim's table!
Objection! Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have an opportunity to steal the coin.
Of course I didn't steal it! To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire!
Well then, how do you explain this paradox?
Exactly! Surely you're not going to suggest that? That the sergeant switched the two steaks over?
What?
Switch the two steaks over. I don't know what we're...
You did switch the plates?
Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. But then, when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. He's so mean to his baby.
He pushed him down.
With the military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the foreign lady's table.
What? You can't have... I never saw you do such a thing!
It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you, so yes, I did what had to be done.
Unbelievable!
Ooh.
However, fear not, prosecution son.
What now?
I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform, this is all I did, sir.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant!
So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate that was on the back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector! Yes? Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's.
Oh.
To preserve evidence, you had to take both. That's correct. I like the inspector. Then please present it to the court now.
He's great.
The plate that is actually on the victim's table at the precise moment that he was shot.
Ooh.
Shut up!
Oh, what can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slap of tough meat. It can't have the slightest bearing on the case at all.
The blood on the plate does. Objection! No, you're not wiggling your way out of it this time, lady.
I beg your pardon?
Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no?
You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me.
The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing.
Thinks he remembers.
I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear splattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett.
Whoa.
Let's not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to this court.
Present the beefsteak and the plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident.
I hope he sees a doctor. I'm worried about him.
I know. He's been working too hard.
Yes, sir!
He's excited! He's
He's
like,
a good guy.
It's my job.
Sorry for keeping you.
There it
There
is.
it is.
Here is the other steak and its plate. Please, feel free to examine it.
Yep, no
Yep.
bite marks.
There it is. That's it.
Oh my god!
The blood stain is clearly visible. Look! Yes!
Now, this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me.
In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim.
Oh!
It can't be! In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Jazeel Brett.
It's you!
She's gonna lose it. The swan died.
Outdone by a Japanese! Me! By a Japanese schoolboy! No! No! No!
She died.
She died of...
There's chickens everywhere.
How did she die?
How did she have... why are there birds?
I love little chickies. I guess this case is over. She confessed.
Oh, wait, it's not
she's still
done.
here.
She's still there.
Please, excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English woman. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what exactly happened that day. The truth this time, before sentencing.
Gladly, Your Excellency.
Okay.
It's not over.
She can't wiggle her way out of this.
It was I who took the professor's life using Curare. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning.
So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because Curare is a unheard of poison here in Japan.
Yes. Of course. I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would be all over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone,
Wow, she's smart.
and then leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table.
Oh, that would be me, I suppose.
Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point. So, I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment.
A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man.
I happen to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of the curare in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Under your skirt?
So I was right. There were 2 guns.
Yes.
And then when I finished my coffee and got up to leave, that's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Placed where you were sure that I wouldn't notice it.
That you would notice it, my boy, and everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun, as I intended.
It's been a long trial.
And then, just as you bent down to pick it up,
Wow, Amber. Cool. That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. With your own gun. Blech! That's when you shot the
right.
professor. Everything, even though at that point he was clearly dead. Yeah.
naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared.
That is me, obviously. I assumed Naruhodo-san was a culprit and apprehended him immediately. I took him to the pantry that adorns the kitchen and locked him inside.
That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around.
Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he had picked up the gun. Longest tutorial trial ever. Holy cow.
So, there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor?
Lady, you committed murder and framed someone. You are going to jail for a very long time.
Misdemeanor, you say?
Your Excellency,
Yes.
I wonder... might I speak with you in private later?
I shall call on you.
Thank you. Good day, then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san.
Wow.
Goodbye.
So, the trial's over then. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement.
This can't be. Ouchie does not lose.
You did.
Not to the likes of this rookie student.
You'd better start getting used to tough opposition.
Ryunosuke Naruhodo!
Yes? What is it?
This insult to Ouchie family's name will never be forgotten.
You've become conceited with age, Counsel, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new and the young. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that.
Whoa! Zoro!
Yeah!
Oh my gosh!
My hair!
His little kyo or man bun.
I forget what they call that in Japanese.
I don't know.
1,000 millennia may pass, and still, the Ouchie clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan.
Whoa!
Up.
Fighting words!
Poor pain. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case.
I thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it was only been a few short decades since our country opened its door to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what it will look like, I cannot begin to imagine. That is for young to pursue. Kazuma Usagi. Yes? After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I understand, Your Excellency.
What was that about? What do you look so grave about all of a sudden? Ah, never mind.
As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Yes, Your Excellency.
In you, I sense, how can I put it? Unusual potential.
Aw, that's nice.
I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty.
Yay!
Confetti time! Oh, cherry blossoms.
Woo!
This can't be!
We won! He's innocent!
Woo!
But what happens to the lady? I don't understand.
She'll probably get sent back to Britain to be tried.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
This court is now adjourned.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
I hope she gets in trouble.
We'll find out. Now the wrap-up of the case. Please.
The 22nd of November, 2:46 p.m., Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendants, Antechamber 5.
I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that hideous trial. Whatever. Horrendous.
That's right.
Ryunosuke,
Yes,
you
Kazuma?
finally pulled it off. Congratulations, my friend. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma.
No, it was a pleasure to watch you work. So you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yumi University Street. Don't forget it. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence.
Our trustworthy judicial assistant. You worked very hard for that result, you know?
Oh no, I didn't do anything.
Thank you very much. If it hadn't been for that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out.
Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate.
Your father? Yes, of course. Professor M.
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense.
Speaking of Professor M,
there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job today.
Thank you, Professor.
Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend.
Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to the Yumi University, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Professor M studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's where he met Dr. Wilson.
Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital.
Oh, you work together? I've never heard you mention that before, Professor.
Well, it was a long time ago now, besides. It's your turn, Asogi.
Huh? I'm probably saying his name wrong.
Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot.
I will. I will learn all I can, sir.
I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan.
You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you?
Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way.
Yeah, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes.
That reminds me, what's happened to the woman, Professor? To Jazeel Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder.
Ah, yes, her.
It's not easy to tell you this, but...
What do you mean? Surely she's gonna face trial herself now. She's a true culprit after all.
She will be leaving Japan in the very near future, for Shanghai.
What? Shanghai?
Oh my gosh.
Jezebel Brett will not appear in court again in this country, I'm certain of that.
What? Why not?
It's a matter of consul jurisdiction. Who said that?
Oh, Inspector!
It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate...
But what's this all about the jurisdiction thing?
We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan.
What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's gonna bring her to justice?
A British consular court will hear her case somewhere far away, where our voices can't be heard.
But why a consular court?
Professor, I simply don't understand.
I thought the courts were a thing of the past now, that we've signed the Treaty of Friendship.
Yes, in normal circumstances you're right.
Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a court just like that!
Can't they?
Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on.
So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan?
I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of her comeuppance here in court.
Wow.
I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand her over immediately. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously.
But it's all going to change from now on. We can make a change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the state of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that women will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it.
Wow. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. Haha. This evening calls for celebration drinks. But Professor...
And ramen.
You're right. There's no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start by having some fun. Ah, yes. In that case, might I suggest the restaurant? As the head waiter, I would be delighted to provide you with ample food and drinks. You're a detective, sir, aren't you?
Ahem.
Why is he bleeding?
Let's not worry about the details for now. To the restaurant! You will accompany us, Professor? Of course!
Les Carnivals' food is second to none.
I can't say French words.
I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release.
Oh, yes. Well, thank you. So Jazeel Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma? Yes, Ryunosuke? I just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my bacon today.
I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. Huh? To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. What? Come on, you gotta be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me! All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that ever again! I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. Don't you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe? To believe what?
To believe what?
A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it? I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe in then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client, huh? Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, you faced seemingly hopeless situations time and time again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it. Through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, buddy. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. It sounds serious. What is... Ah, you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector! I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. I have no idea what a rickshaw is. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah, yes. That too.
It's a cart that's, driven by a bicycle or somebody, like, running. We actually rode in one in New York City.
Oh, okay. So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma, Professor M,
Suzeto-san.
Suzeto-san, who acted as my assistant, the inspector, who didn't really play much part of it, but still.
Oh, he's mad.
It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life.
How much money you have to buy him in food?
The end of The Great Departure, Episode 1. Defense debut. Save your current progress. Yes.
Inspector Bloodmouth should go to the hospital.
I know, right?
Yes, Susato is very different. Thank you, Taylor. Says voice acting is great. And, yeah, that was really crazy. The U.S. leads in graphics. That's right. Britain leads in everything else, law, and the U.S. leads in graphics for video games.
That's right. So, episode 2, The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band, will begin tomorrow at 4 o'clock-ish time. Yes, return to the title screen. I'm exhausted, but now it's time to eat some dinner, and of course, delay the Zelda stream so we can both have a chance to eat. But anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed the very first trial. Believe it or not, that is actually considered the tutorial aspect of the game. Now we get into the main game, which is going to be much longer than this trial, which lasted over 3 hours, if you really put everything together. The next part of the game will have actual visiting crime scenes and going over stuff like Ace Attorney.
Oh my god.
The first episode of the game is just a trial, and then they kind of break it up. But this is how the new Ace Attorney games go. The Great Ace Attorney Adventures was 2 games. This one came out in 2015, and then the second one came out in 2017. So they haven't had a new Ace Attorney game yet. They've just been doing collections. I believe they are working on a new Ace Attorney. And that will probably debut on current-gen systems or mobile. Because this game actually was a 3DS and a mobile game. But thank you so much for watching, everybody. In the comment section below, tell us your favorite part of the episode, or just comment for the sake of commenting. It really does help out tremendously.
Yep,
and we will see you guys on the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword episode 16, where we'll be doing the Song of the Hero stuff today. But I just need to rest my voice a little bit and all that other stuff. But I'm having a blast. I hope you guys are too. Hopefully, I won't have to go between Skeletor, the judge, and all these other people next time. And some of the voices, there'll be more female characters is my hope.
That's what Luke's hoping
That's what I'm hoping for. All right, guys. God bless. Happy gaming. Thanks so much for watching. And we will see you with more Ace Attorney tomorrow. And we'll see a lot of you guys on Skyward Sword in about a half hour or so. Later.
All right, God bless. Happy gaming. See ya. Thanks for watching, everyone.